Yeah, come on. Yo, this that spooky shit, that real, that's right. That GMSONIC shit. Hey yo, Mr. Clean. Shout out to Dracula Presley, Corvin, Johnny Slash on the beat. Hey yo. Yo, it's the GMSONIC show, Fantom opera flow, permissionless, immutable, unstoppable, spectacular, gather with Corville and Dracula, abracadabra, flip shit like a spatula, few Andre Stan, the master of memes, DeFi king, half man, half virtual machine, no other team can match the collective expertise, no other chain can achieve the supersonic speeds, home of the most creative tech, what's your favorite decks, spooky swap, equalizer, Beethoven X, and when I place my bet, I never break a sweat. Worship the open source code like sacred text. Rest assured, battle tested and ready for war. I check the bribes, cast the vote and collect the rewards. Knock at the door, trick or treat. Move like a zombie, but usually I stay cooler than Fonzie. I get surgical with this, call me Dr. Doom. Break the sound barrier, hit you with a sonic boom. We got it wrapped like a mummy in a tomb. It's about time we address the elephant in the room. It's called Sonic. Yo, what's the new hot topic? GMSONIC. Straight up alpha, you can get it if you watch it. GMSONIC. Yo, what's the new hot topic? GMSONIC. Straight up alpha, you can get it if you watch it. Yo. Since the Genesis block, consensus didn't stop. Innovating since day one and never missed the plot. I'm just a humble yield farmer, tending these crops like a routine. See you at the next epoch. Ayo, the DeFi Renaissance, yeah, we were part of that. Your favorite dap, Fantom is where it started at. Go to paint swap and cop an ancient artifact. Let's run it back so we can 20x the market cap. FTM's the pre-sale, S is the ticker. It's best to zoom out so you can see the bigger picture. Brand new tech, brand new insignia, no trivia, we stacking more chips than Nvidia. Graduated from Halloween to a sonic theme. The dead chain resurrected make you wanna scream. Due diligence, follow the new primitives, controlled by the citizens, built to move billions. Your mass adoption, that's the only option. We ain't stopping till we locked in the top 10. Who got the best community? Who got the most promise? Who got the most pumponomics? Fantom and now Sonic. Yo, what's the new hot topic? GMSONIC. Straight up alpha, you can get it if you watch it. GMSONIC. Yo, what's the new hot topic? GMSONIC. Straight up alpha, you can get it if you watch it. Yeah, come on. Yo, this that spooky shit, that real, that's right. That GMSONIC shit. Hey yo, Mr. Clean. Shout out to Dracula Presley, Corvin, Johnny Slash on the beat. Hey yo. Yo, it's the GMSONIC show, Fantom opera flow, permissionless, immutable, unstoppable, spectacular, gather with Corville and Dracula, abracadabra, flip shit like a spatula, few Andre Stan, the master of memes, DeFi king, half man, half virtual machine, no other team can match the collective expertise, no other chain can achieve the supersonic speeds, home of the most creative tech, what's your favorite decks, spooky swap, equalizer, Beethoven X, and when I place my bet, I never break a sweat. Worship the open source code like sacred text. Rest assured, battle tested and ready for war. I check the bribes, cast the vote and collect the rewards. Knock at the door, trick or treat.
GMSONIC, how you doing today? Dracula, how you doing?
Man, I'm
Sonic community.
doing well, man. It's very very rainy, very chilly day here in Atlanta. So just opening up some 100x positions to try to cure this seasonal depression disorder.
I see you're taking desperate shots of hopium here. You're trying to revitalize your energy by staring at the charts. Now, let me tell you, that's a fool's game, Dracula. It's only going to cause you more pain than anything else. But because I'm right here with you, dude, in Nashville, where I'm now currently located. So feel free to come and try and rob me in Nashville.
Let's get his ledger.
It's very wet and very cold. It's like a witch's brew.
Witch's cauldron.
Yeah. But yeah, what kind of position you open up shorts, Dracula? Because looking at the charts today, it's looking like it's over, dude. Looks like the music stopped, the party's over. We all got to go back to McDonald's. We all got to go put the bags back in the fries. The bags back in the fries back in the bag.
Well, I usually start with Bitcoin, but I figured I'd start with Fantom today just to let everybody know that this is the daily. So the sky is not falling, guys. I understand. I think there's a little impatience with the market. We have to remember that Bitcoin needs to make its moves before everything else can rip. And, we had Bitcoin moving and then it kind of went sideways, but, it's moving again right now. To me, the chart does not actually look that bad. We obviously got a thing going right here. Looking at alpha trend, we're also just kind of holding this little area. I looked at the alligator, looks very, very much like consolidation. So I'm unbothered right now. I think we're winding up. This looks like the beginning of a wind up. How much longer we go sideways, I don't know the answer to that. But we still don't know the date on Sonic. So let's say we're a month away, right? We're just gonna say that. Okay, like if we're a month away, we might go sideways a little longer. Now, if the lads will drop a date,
it's not gonna happen, Dracula. That's not gonna happen.
I mean, that's the only thing I can say is I still don't, I don't totally know the approach. I don't know if there is going to be a date released, if this whole thing's just going to be like a boom, Sonic is here. So, oh yeah. And, BlackRock ETF options today. That's always a fun day in the market where, when the options expire. So, a lot going on, but I mean, look at this. I mean, Bitcoin weekly, the weekly is still parabolic right now. And I think we need to see, before everything can really, really rip, we need Bitcoin to kind of find its next little resting area. That's my opinion. So yeah, I've seen a lot of, we were discussing it before the show where, a lot of FUD on the timeline this morning.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of people compare this to Hedera. They keep bringing up Hedera. They're like, Lord, I see what you've done for Hedera. Why don't you do it for me? Well, I don't know what kind of crime they're working on over there, what kind of schemes they're cooking up to explain their price action. Maybe it's legit. I don't know. But I'll say this, dude. Fantom, Sonic, you got to have faith, dude. There's not going to be confirmation here. No one's going to say December 15th, Sonic is going to launch. You got to put your faith in the man himself, St. Andre.
Is it not true that he gives his strongest battles to his strongest
That's
warriors?
Right. His strongest degens are fighting his strongest battles out here in the trenches. So maybe instead of looking at what Hedera's got going on, you should be looking at, I don't know, what
Hedera,
what your family's doing, dude.
Yeah, Hedera, more like how dare you, more
exactly.
Like Habera, okay?
Yeah, Habera.
Get it out of your head.
It's going down, dude. Now I guess the thing is like look. All right, I'm looking at their chart. I'm getting even more pissed off. This is not a Hedera test. I'm not going to look at Hedera, and I'm not pissed off because it's like they're doing extremely well. I'm pissed off that people are mad that Hedera.
Well, I can get serious here for a second. Let me get a little serious. Okay, it's a very odd comparison because if you've been around a long time, it's funny that this is coming out right now because if you've been here like, you know, since like last run or earlier Fantom inception, basically one of the most like, you know, one of the original tinfoil Fantom kind of conspiracy theories was that they had like ripped off Hedera's tech or something. And so I do find it funny that like with the price action, you know, this rarely comes up anymore, comparisons to Hedera and Fantom. Like I can't remember the last time. I mean, it's been years. So it is kind of funny that it's like people will just find anything to kind of like, you know, well, it's like somebody 3 years ago used to compare Hedera to Fantom. So now we're going to use Hedera as like the benchmark against, you know, Fantom pricing. But, you know, Hedera, like having dabbled in the Hedera eco over the years, like Hedera's in a totally different position than Fantom. If you've watched their chart, those people are truly in pain most of the time. The chart has been sideways through the entire run so far. Or, you know, like I said, I don't believe we're full bull, but in this entire, you know, price being better than the bear, they've still just maintained the exact same like purgatory sideways. And, you know, they kind of tried to take their shot at, you know, retail, DeFi, whatever, and it just didn't really happen for them. They are completely ingrained in like institution kind of, you know, funding and projects. So you really can't compare the two projects like at all. They're completely different worlds, completely different, you know, what they're involved in. So don't let that get you down is what I'm trying to say. Is it truly at this point in the game, there's like no correlation between like, you know, I mean, if you wanted to compare Fantom to somebody, compare them to like Avalanche or, you know, I don't know, like another alt L1, sure. But, you know, to be mad about Hedera pumping, I just think it's like, I mean, it's just, you can't really even compare it. I mean, it's
also so silly because if you look at the price action, you're dancing on their graves here on Sonic, okay? Like your upside has been way bigger if you've been in for a comparable time. Anyway, let's move on. Enough about Hedera, enough about H-bar. We were looking at the Bitcoin chart. Do we want to look at Ethereum too? Do we want to look at how Ethereum is still just doing the same thing it's done for the last 6
Let me
months?
see what we're looking like real fast. And, you know, it finally happened with this recent pump. I'm going to look at the Ethereum weekly. I was going to say, you know, it finally happened with this Ethereum pump where, you know, I had people giving me shit. You know, they finally got to say, haha, look at the pump. I'm like, yeah, that doesn't change the fact that it's been a total piece of shit for like a year and a half. But yeah, I mean, this is the weekly on Ethereum. Might be better to look at the daily on Ethereum. I don't know. Well, yeah, either way. I'll stick to the weekly since, you know, obviously big boy here. If you remove some stuff here, looking at like the Ichi and, you know, I mean, yeah, we had a pump. We're finally above the moving average, right? You know, it looks better than it has for sure. I mean, look at this. I mean, you know, Ethereum's been in hell. It's been in the basement.
Trend reversal much, fellas?
Yeah. So
we get a trend reversal in the chat. Anyone reversing the trend in the chat? Because that's what it's looking like here to me.
So yeah, the 50 on the weekly, pretty powerful. And yeah, I mean, like we're just now getting above the weekly on Ethereum. I mean, on the moving, you know, 50, moving average 50. So I'm just going to be honest. I mean, it looks better. I don't know if it's something to really gloat about. It's still underperforming the entire market. But it's good, right? It's a step in the right direction. And if you're looking at the Ethereum chart, then maybe that actually does give you some hope that this thing, considering it's just now crossing over the 50 on the weekly, like it's just now getting up over the cloud on the Ichi. This tells me that like it's just getting started, right? And it
Oh.
all makes sense. I mean, like I said, Bitcoin has to make its moves. It's got to settle. Ethereum is looking better. When Bitcoin finally settles, I think we have Ethereum and alt rip. I mean, that's just how it works, right?
Yeah.
So it's not, like I said, it's actually, you know, a little hopium on this chart, honestly.
So what it is all these dingbats on the timeline tell me you got to rotate it. Look, I'm thinking specifically of Crypto Homie here. Sorry, Crypto Home. You're my homie, but I saw you say you got to rotate out of Fantom into this other shit to chase the trend. I'm not doing that, dude. I feel like you're trying to get me out so that you can get in cheap. I'm not. It's not going to happen. And that's what I'm saying here with this Ethereum as well. I'm seeing everyone saying Ethereum is dead. I mean, I was saying it too. But we see the first signs of life. Everyone's saying it's the death rattle. I don't agree. Ethereum
No,
to 30,000.
I think we're like just finally seeing some correction that needed to happen on Ethereum. And, you know, I think what people like Home are talking about is sunken cost fallacy, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm definitely experiencing that significantly here.
But that's the thing. Look at this chart. This is not a chart that you say I've like waited for a year and nothing's happened.
You want to see a sunken cost fallacy? Dragon Chain. Put that in. That's one of my first buys ever in crypto.
Dragon Chain.
Because the story about it was that it was made by like a Disney incubator lab or something.
Oh Lord. Let's see if we can find it.
This is the most disgusting chart that I'm a part of. I've got a coin market cap link for you. Let me send it to you.
Yeah, send that. I don't even But no, what I was gonna say is, you know, this is not a sunk cost fallacy looking chart to me. This is like just some very like reasonable.
This is a token. Yeah. I mean, this looks much more like a natural chart progression upwards, right? Like you're stopping out, especially for something as volatile as this.
All right, so I got this chart. Let's take a look here. Okay, so yes, you were correct.
Put this on all time, dude.
Yeah. Now this is definitely more of like a, you know, oh yeah, we'll go all time. Oof.
All right. You see this bad boy?
Okay. This is a sunk cost fallacy chart. Yeah. Right. Yeah, this thing's been absolutely.
Imagine still buying this. Imagine that buying into this right now.
Yeah. That's painful. But yeah, you know, like I said, this, you know, to me, Fantom, that is not, you are not looking at something that you can say, oh, I give up. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, look at this. I mean, since August, a lot of volatility, but basically up only. I mean, in August, we were at 30 cents. You know, like I said, if you have conviction, I don't think it's really the time to just sell and move on. Now, if you bought around 30 cents or whatever, sure, take some profits. Always take some profits. You know what I mean? Don't just hold the bag forever. But, you know, if you bought recently, this isn't a bag I'm cutting yet. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, same here. Well, I'm never going to cut it. I mean, I do the show. I'm married to this bag.
Says, I had both those two. They caught the oyster guy on a yacht filled with gold bars.
That's crazy. Yeah, we deserve those gold bars, dude. He should have to hand those out to us.
Dude, that's wild. I actually kind of remember that oyster, that like oyster project.
Dude, Sarge and I are in this. It's one of my first buys, dude. I remember this so clearly. Like I was my first job out of college. I was like working in a cubicle, and the work was just like one of those bullshit office jobs where you do all the work you need to do for the day in like 45 minutes. So I would just be on my work laptop looking at crypto stuff. Yeah, crazy time, dude.
Well, yeah. So the main point of this segment is just, you know, I would tell you honestly if I thought we're in trouble, you know, and we have before. Like, you know, I don't think this is time to panic yet. You know, we dropped down to, I don't know, low 60 or something. Maybe it's time to get a little like what's going on with Sonic right around the corner. But, you know,
if you have any doubt, remember, look at the chart that Drac bought. Let's see where Drac bought. This guy knows the charts, bro.
Don't lose hope, guys. Don't lose hope. Sonic's coming. We're gonna be okay. But yeah, you know, it is funny though. It's just how a few people can kind of cause this sort of, you know, I mean, you know, this sort of like vibe on the timeline or whatever. But I get it, you know. Yeah, it's at the same time, it's not like, oh, like we should be, you know, celebrating or whatever today. But you know, it's like I said, it's okay. It's all right.
We're just a little patient. It's okay.
Yeah. So one thing I wanted to touch on, we had talked about basically, I guess it was like the last episode or two, Boom Week had started. They had said Boom Week's here, but they hadn't made any of the announcements yet. And it's 10 winners. And I was hoping I could just find like a Medium article to just had everything like nice and, you know, dense, but I couldn't find that. So just wanted to touch on some of these. So on Boom Week, the Emerald winners are, you know, like we explained on with the Boom program, it's kind of like Blast Gold or whatever. So these protocols are going to be given, you know, gems to hand out for people interacting with their projects and stuff. And those gems add up to like basically more points for your airdrop allocation. So we had some cool ones here. Silo Finance, which that's a big one. Big lending protocol. You know, obviously after some of the events this week, we need some We need some lending set up here. Silo, yeah, that's a huge project. So pretty excited about that. We also had Gravity Finance, which I'm not really familiar with them. I don't know if anyone else is.
Yield Automator?
Yeah. So it says that they customizable one-click investment strategies. So that's kind of interesting. I guess it's more of like a, you know, not like a compounder or something, more of like you pick a strategy and it executes the strategy. So that is excellent. Like I said, we're having a stream, like just click through here. I'm not familiar with these guys. Are you? Vicuna?
No, I've never heard of Vicuna Finance.
So I've seen these guys. I've seen them on the timeline a lot. I don't know if it's like a, you know, if it's like a white label of another project. Just so you know, when I say white label, what I mean is like a lot of times projects, there's like sometimes an outlook for projects where they say instead of just like having my project on like 8 chains, they fork their project, but basically give it a separate brand on like a different chain. So yeah, I haven't heard of those guys. So I'm wondering if that's kind of the case. Maybe this is like a white label of like another project that's launching.
Like their little llama.
Yeah, always solid. Now Margin Zero.
This sounds too good to be true. I don't understand this one. I gotta do some research on this bad boy. It sounds crazy.
Yeah, it does sound crazy. So perpetuals and options, no Oracle, which is always, you know, nice to hear. Upfront margins, price-based liquidation. So I'm excited that, you know, we're starting to see this kind of stuff, this more like complex, you know, more complex DeFi kind of protocol stuff forming. And that's kind of what I'm getting here from the Emerald so far, is that it seems like the Emerald winners are definitely more like sophisticated, like heavy on the tech. But boom, look at right here.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah. I figured I'd play the actual boom on that one. Yeah, that's huge. I didn't even know that was happening quite yet. Like I said, they posted these on the timeline. We need like a medium or a document that's got everything all like laid out here, because I missed like a bunch of these just looking at, you know, X. Yeah, Urine, man, that is huge. We'll just cover a couple more. Because I think that's really all there is. Yeah. Plus.bet.
Never heard of it.
Guys, right?
Never heard of this in my life. I don't even know what this is. What's Plus.bet? Some kind of betting market? Some kind of sports betting platform?
Yeah, so I mean that's that's big. I know they've kind of had their platform already running on Fantom, waiting for Sonic. Obviously, I think we've seen that, having some kind of like gambling gaming platform on your chain can bring a lot of traffic. So excited to see how it runs on Sonic. Honestly, I know that they've been working on a lot of stuff to have ready for Sonic. So I know I enjoy that. Like I said, I said on a Spaces about like Degen Express, where it was like I can be bad about stuff like, plus bet, like, plus bet or something like, pump fun or, whatever. I can be bad about like having a window open just while I'm doing other stuff and just casually gambling. So, yeah, I'm excited for that. Fill in some of that extra time. Now, I'm not familiar with these guys like at all. Sonic Market. Does anybody know anything about this?
On-chain order book decks combine the efficiency of sexes, centralized exchanges, the transparency and security of DeFi. This is the kind of product I've heard a lot of people talk about, like an order book style decks.
Yeah, and I know the Tarot guys have one TNX that's in the works, and this is honestly, this concept is one of the I'm so excited about for Sonic to see how it works. So many traders prefer an order book. To be honest, I mean, I'm right there with it. I would always rather have an order book, especially if you're, running faster trades and that kind of stuff. And, being on chain for pretty much anything out there, it just doesn't really lend itself that well to like trading on chain, because the order book stuff has to move so fast. It has to be like practically instant. So I'm excited to see that we already have a couple people, dabbling in this to bring this to Sonic. This could bring, whether it's TNX or this Sonic Market, these could bring like serious money, I think, because people truly want that. People would rather be on chain, obviously, the privacy, the regulations, the whatever.
No KYC, baby.
Yeah, like everyone would rather be on chain, but it's just that in the past, people that have attempted this, it's pretty much always failed. Because, you just can't do it. I mean, even like trading on something like GMX or a GMX fork, you would have these moments where there's just too much stuff happening and trades aren't going through, and they, were adjusting rates on like how much activity there is, and it's just like it just doesn't always work, especially in like high volume. Hyperliquid has obviously done a really good job of this, but they built their own damn chain to have their infrastructure on, right? So yeah, I mean, this is exciting to me. I'm definitely ready for this. I can't wait for that. And I think that's Rings Protocol. Okay, this was the last one.
These are all Emerald tier, aren't they?
Yeah, these are all Emerald tier, which means they're getting like the highest gem allocation to hand out to users. So yeah, lets you bring stable coins to Sonic, stake for passive income, lock for seamless yield farming. Curious to see how this system works. Anything with stable coins, obviously very attractive, especially if you can offer like a good APR. So excited to see how that works for sure.
Yeah. The interesting thing about them is, a big thing has been, stables on Fantom, stables on Sonic, the desire for a native stable. It looks like Rings is purpose built for Sonic. It's not like an existing project that's coming over. It's like,
yeah, I believe that's the case. So, and like I said, I think you're seeing, there are blue chips, like you saw Yearn, Aave has said they're coming. I don't know if there's like a date set for that yet. But, I think like you'll see a lot of these like white label kind of deals where it's actually like probably like a really well-known team that's actually just, working their existing product to bring it over. But yeah, this is, like I said, you got the order books that will bring big traders. you know, anything with like good stable yields, that's going to bring big money, big traders. New lending platforms, those are a must. So that's going to bring money. So honestly, I believe his name's Johan, the guy that they've kind of put in charge of like the DeFi onboarding. I think this guy's been killing it. Mm-hmm. Like for real. Because these are just all the things that you want to see. And I think that a lot of, you know, we've discussed this on the show before, a lot of L2s, they come out and it's like the stable of protocols is maybe like literally just like the low hanging fruit essentials. They come out with like 6 or 7 protocols. And once you go from there, it either, you know, often the chain itself doesn't have a lot of activity. So Sonic, you know, they mentioned this the other day. I mean, they're coming out with 60, I want to say it was like something crazy. It was like there's 66 confirmed right around launch. That is a feat.
Full suite, baby.
Yeah.
I was just looking at Base the other day. Now, I did a show a while back when Base first launched with Justin Bebis, and we were looking at Base Chain, right? And part of the fun was like they had a bunch of stuff launched, but it was all like crap. There was only like 3 or 4 projects right out the gate. There was a bunch of scams, boobs.finance, milk.finance, all that kind of stuff, right? So with Sonic launch, and like you look where Base is at now, Base is huge. I mean, there's a lot of different factors that play there. But like when you look at Sonic, right, coming out the gate with 60, dude.
Yeah.
Like everything from the big guys to custom built, unique products. Incredibly bullish. Now all we got to do is wait for Sonic, dude.
Yeah,
always waiting on this little guy right here. You know what I mean? But should we talk a little bit about, you know, the elephant in the room, dude?
Oh, I think we should talk about it.
We should talk about it. We should talk about why it's such a big deal that Ave might come over.
Sure. Rough weekend for a lot of the lads. Big exploit. You know, if you're not familiar with Polter, they are one of like, I guess there's only 2 or 3 lending platforms currently on Fantom, maybe only 2 that I know of. So one of the 2 had a exploit for $11 million, which is not great considering that, you know, right now, I think somebody had thrown out a number that like $11 million was probably like a 10th of the current, you know, TVL of the chain or something. But yeah, there was a big exploit. A lot of stuff going on around it. You know, originally the exploit was considered like a, there was like a bug in some Aave V2 stuff where if you didn't initialize a new pool properly, somebody could exploit it. And so originally that was the thought, because they were opening a Boo lending market and they had not initialized the new pool yet. So somebody came in, you know, made their tweaks and were able to basically drain all the other pools. Coming down the road, and this is all just things I've read, so I have not looked into this myself. So, you know, take it with a grain of salt. But I think now they believe it was like an Oracle issue, which allowed the hacker to basically take a small amount of Boo, but borrow a ton of funds.
Was it a flash loan attack? Because that's what I was hearing.
Yeah, like a flash loan. So we're still seeing what's happening. A lot of stuff swirling around. So they started out saying, you know, they paused the bridge. You know, sorry about that. No, they paused the platform. They've notified the bridges. They've identified the wallets, traced it to Binance, and still investigating. They've reached out to the exploiter, which says we're willing to negotiate and not pursue legal action if funds are returned promptly. So we've seen this
hard bargain. They're driving a hard bargain there.
Yeah. You know, I've seen over the last couple of years, you can usually convince someone to turn it into a white hat, like a white hat kind of deal, if, you know, you offer them like, you know, 10% or whatever. So they didn't say what they're offering, but they did say, you know, we're willing to negotiate. I don't think we've heard anything back as far as that goes. So after that happened, they've reached out to other protocols that help, investigate these kind of hacks and stuff. And they also filed a police report. So it does, it does come back to, you have to be mindful when you're forking anything. This was a very well-known exploit. It's crazy that sometimes these things can come down to like literally just like forking the wrong GitHub repo, right?
Yeah.
I mean, a well-known exploit had been fixed a long time. So, I don't know everything that's happening on the inside, but it goes to show you that even if you're forking something that's well documented, well audited, you should still run your own audits. I mean, and I can't say if they didn't run their own audits, but I would be surprised if they did and it wasn't caught. You know what I mean? Because this was a very well-known exploit, had already been exploited on a lot of other protocols. The deal was pretty much sealed by now that people knew, okay, you can't fork this version or whatever. So yeah, I guess we'll get more. But my heart goes out to anyone that got wrecked on this, because I totally get it. You think, you go, okay, it's an Aave fork, right? So that should be
safe.
Yeah, that should be pretty legit, right? I mean, that's what you think. So yeah, hate that for anyone that got affected. So I guess we're down to one lending market now on Fantom. Not that we have too much more that we have to worry about with all these new ones coming to Sonic, but
yeah. Wow, it's such a shame. It's such a shame. The Polter team, you think they're going to bounce back from this? I mean, I don't even know who the Polter team is.
I'm not sure either, honestly.
They're anonymous.
Apparently, there was like some conversation about like, because they were part of one of the shard campaigns or something, that they should be KYC'd or something, but I just don't really know if that's the case, So complicated situation when you have these hacks, because I've also seen people saying like, the foundation should be covering funds or this or that, and it's complicated, but it's also like it's still a decentralized permissionless network, right?
Yeah.
So losing money on these things, it hurts, it stings. We've all probably been there at least once, but hopefully, like I said, it's like even if you're forking something that is battle tested, if you're a protocol, if you're a developer, still get those audits, still take security seriously. What's the worst thing that can happen? Your audit comes back and they go, yeah, we didn't find shit. So, whatever. Like, that's the worst thing that can happen.
Yeah. Worst thing that can happen, you spent a couple grand on nothing.
Yeah. I mean,
peace of mind.
like I said, I just truly believe that if this had been run through auditing channels, I don't see how there's just like no chance, I think, of it not being caught. So, and, of course, you always have your, there's people saying it's an inside job or this or that, but I think we just have to kind of wait and see, really, right?
Yeah. If it was, I think the SEAL org will get to the bottom of that.
The SEALs will find them.
Yeah, the SEALs will find that out. I don't think it's an inside job. I think if it was an inside job, you do what Blue Kirby did. You just close up the doors, you'd board up the windows, you just leave.
Yeah, we're kind of coming full circle. I think it was one of the first episodes we did was right around with that Blue Kirby stuff, and that was at the beginning of the show. And now Fantom's winding down, and we had one last, well, knock on wood, one last big exploit.
Just wait till you see what I'm cooking up. Someone's gonna get exploited, and it's gonna be me this time. This time I'm getting the payday. I'm gonna exploit Geist. Yeah, I'm targeting Geist.
But yeah, like I said, everybody stay safe. I think that's a good, like I said, going forward, even if somebody says, hey, we're a friendly fork of this or that, I think it's good to just say, well, so what have you done? You know, like, what are you doing for your security? What are you doing for your audits? Like, it still matters. So, but in things less heavy, I just wanted to touch on this before we hopped off. It looks like Sonic's getting a like sizable, you know, they're getting a dog in the fight, right?
Yeah.
Seems like they're really they put out a little short video of like Ansem training, and I can't wait for this. It's got to be better than the Paul Tyson fight, I'd imagine. So I know that
I don't know if this will be better than the Tyson Paul fight. You know, that thing was completely rigged, bro. I was looking at some TikToks about it, and I was buying it at first. Oh, Tyson's just old. But now I'm thinking about it. I'm watching another couple of clips. Definitely pulling his punches, bro. He definitely signed a contract saying that's going to go the distance and that, you know, neither one's going to get knocked out. I don't know what you think, but that's just my opinion. I think
there's like that video circulating of Mike Tyson landed like a really good headshot on Paul, and before he like kept going in, Paul like flicked his tongue or something. So everybody was like, that was it. That was him telling him to chill or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's always fun with boxing because it's like you always, similar to you know, crypto exploits, there's always a conspiracy, right? So,
well, dude, with boxing, isn't it always like they just know it's rigged most of the time? He's got to pad their records and all that. Yeah. Although I don't know. Now, will Black Noise, aka Ansem, and Ben Armstrong be rigging this? You think? Do you think they got a gentleman's bet on the side? I wouldn't know. These two guys are a little shifty, aren't they?
I don't know, man. You know, look at Bitboy right here. You know,
Bitboy looks pissed off.
He won his last fight. I think he's hungry. Look at him. He's mad.
He's got something to prove. Now look at Daniele there. Daniele, from my understanding, he's a legend.
Is that actually Daniele? I don't think
that's Daniele, isn't it?
I think it's just a guy that really looks like him, but maybe someone chime in on that.
Dude, that is Daniele, bro.
I don't know.
That is Daniele, dude. People were joking and saying it's me, but that is Daniele, dude.
People were joking and saying it's Corbel. I don't know if that's Daniele or not, but if it is, that's even better.
I was gonna say because he's bringing something to Fantom to Sonic too.
Yeah, we got to get to the bottom of that, but yeah, you guys let us know. I don't know if that's Daniele, but
yeah, tell me if that's Daniele or not, and if it is, tell Daniele to message me.
Chris Rock says it is Corbel, confirmed. So you
long lost bro. Yeah, Daniele's my long lost bro. I want to reconnect with him, dude.
But yeah, that's something to look forward to. I'm curious to see how that's going to pay. I know a lot of people are actually going out to. I think that fight's in Dubai. A lot of people are going to that. You know, got to give Bitboy some credit that the crypto fight night thing kind of like, you know, it's a meme, it's a joke, it's fun, but he did have some legitimate moments of looking kind of scary when he fought that dude from you know, Ticker Bitcoin or whatever. He's like a honey badger.
Yeah, he was tenacious. That's what I remember.
Yeah.
I want to fight Bitboy.
We need to get that going.
How old is Bitboy? Bitboy's like 40. How old is
he's like 40, 41 or something like that. 41,
30,
42.
Okay. It's kind of fair. It's kind of fair. I wonder what the weight class here is, because that's a big height differential right there. That's a full head.
Yeah, that could be complicated. Maybe they're just like, we don't care. We just let people fight.
Yeah, that's probably it.
You know,
crypto people love fighting.
I don't think they're too like worried about like you know, certain regulations, or you know, this is just purely like purely for the lulz. I think
purely for the lulz. That's what I do it for.
That's what we all do it for. But that's pretty much all we got today. You know, we appreciate everyone hanging out. Like I said, don't let this price action get you down. I think we're consolidating. I think we're about to rip. I think that you know, maybe a little more sideways, might be a little boring here, but I think Bitcoin's going to rest here at some point, at least find a new support. Let's Ethereum, let's everything else make some moves. And like I said, I don't know if we are getting a launch date, or if this thing's just if they're just gonna drop the bomb one day. But some kind of launch date or something gets announced. I bet we start going parabolic here.
God, I fucking pray we get a date soon.
But yeah, Friday, Funeral's joining us to go over all. They just launched a ton of new cult stuff and a new game and a new market and all this stuff. So Funeral's going to be here Friday hanging with us, which is always a good time. He's going to kind of walk us through some of this new stuff. And yeah, as always, Sonic Talk for the extremes. That's where most people watch us. YouTube, GM_Sonic. And anywhere you get podcasts, just search for GMSONIC.
Hell yeah,
and,
brother.
We will catch you guys on Friday with Funeral.
Catch you on the flip side, gangsters. See you there.